Here we have the Hayward Skim. I'm about to go out to the pool and show you out there, but first I want to make sure you had this plate the right direction. Obviously, if you do this, it doesn't quite line up. You're going the wrong way. So when you're cutting, make sure that it has the 3 holes on the top and bottom and 2 on each side. Here you can see my setup. I've got the normal Intex outlets. I actually had plumbed it to get to my pump, and so I'll have to switch that up a little bit. As you can see in here, it's not full all the way. Just set it up and started to fill it yesterday, but then I stopped the water so that I could work on getting this skimmer put into place. And I'm going to put this like so on the side to be able to catch a lot of these things that float on the top. Normally this long part here, this will go to my pump. This top section was to try to connect a vacuum hose to, but I'm thinking I might tie into this for my skimmer basket, but we'll figure out the connections when we get there. First things first, we have to get this installed. So remember, 3 holes on the top, so I don't want to be in the way of the pole. What that's going to look like on the inside is somewhere in this general area. That way I'm going to put it up flush against this gray, and I'm going to trace it, cut it out with a knife, and then I will be able to put that little gasket on there. Do not cut the gasket in half. Decided this is one inlet, here's one inlet. So to keep it symmetrical, we're going to go right here. Again, 3 on the top, 3 on the bottom, 2 on each side, so that we know it's horizontal. I'm just going to push it up against the gray, line it up with this white line on my particular pool. Also vertically, I can see that it lines up against the flares so that it's hopefully straight. I'm going to try using a pencil myself. I think it should work. I can see that fine. I'm going to cut that out. All right, here we go. Figured the easier way was to get it in. All right, so right here, where it's going to go, I'm noticing that my line on top's not great because it was in the pool. I'm sorry, I was outside the pool drawing the line. So I'm going to hold this in place and cut the top first and cut the bottom. This actually makes it fairly easy so far. We'll see. And just start at the top. You can see, you go down. Blade just twists the plastic here. I'm going to leave that little bit of edge, that little tiny corner, so that it stays. I'm going to do the same on this side. And go through and finish this cut. That's good. And this cut. And as careful as possible because with this new brand new sharp knife, it's pretty easy to cut. This will allow my water to come up pretty high. I mean, I didn't want to go too high because I don't want the holes going through this part here. So I went as high as I could. I'm not sure why, but if you can see with the skimmer, it looks as though you would use all these holes because they all have a corresponding hole. But the problem is on the inside of the pool, it does not. So on the inside, oops, gotta get the right way. On the inside, there's a 3, 2, 3, 2. So therefore, it's a little strange. You want to make sure that if you're kind of priming the holes, that you're not putting too many. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and mark. I have a Sharpie, just so we know which. So this one, this one, this one. Same on the bottom. Outside, middle, outside, and the 2 outsides. just so we know which ones we're going to want to put screw holes into. Next thing, I've seen a couple different errors in installing this. Number one, this is meant to be together and sealed. Do not cut this. I saw someone take this and cut this. Do not. Leave it like this. It is supposed to be like this. Second thing, I saw someone else who put it on the inside of the pool, and then they put this on top, and on the outside of the pool they put this. So all they did is squeeze that gasket on the inside of the pool. Again, that's not its full function. I'll show you in a minute, but that gasket is not just meant to be squished on one side or the other. All right, you can see that hole that's in the side over there. I'm going to show you with this gasket how it should work. So again, this should not just be squished here or on the back side. It should not, as you can see, it's got a little seam. It should not be cut in half. Or what should happen is it should go on both sides. This thing's made to help seal all the way around. So, assuming the hole is right size, which hopefully mine is, you should slide on here and fit around this edge. Like so. And there we go. So it'll be a seal on the inner part where the water's going through, and then it'll seal tight on the outside to keep the water from going around the edges. When it comes to this, the screws they give are not pointed, so I'm going to poke holes to help put those through, because I'll put the front plate, I'll put the skimmer on the back side and put those together, but I'm going to try not to clip the wrong holes. That'd be bad news. So that's why I marked them, because if you look just at the skimmer, you'd think that all of these have screws, but the front plate only has 3, 2 on the sides, 3 on the bottom, 2 on this side, 3 on the top. So I'm just making a starter hole, making sure it's centered, and it's only these holes that I've marked. There's 2 different kinds of screw heads. The one that's going to sit flat and flush into that skimmer plate, and then the rounded head. I am not going to use the rounded head. I'm going to use this one here. That way, when it goes in, it's going to sit flat and flush. And so my goal is to start through that hole. We already poked. Feels like it's going. It's good news. So those 2 are through. So I can feel it in the back when it's coming through, so that's good news. All right, that one's through. Here's the other thing. A lot of times people have said you have to put this flapper in first. Don't forget. Well, actually, that's not the case. I'll show you in a little bit how to put it in afterwards. If you want to put it in, that's great, but I figured the more that's in the way, the harder it's going to be, so I'm going to try without. So, as you can see down here, I think you can see it. I'm just going to line up and start tightening it in. You can see there is the skimmer in there. So that's the plan, is to line this up and start getting some of these screwed in. Hand tighten if I can. And it should line up with the gasket in the back as well. So that does help, since that gasket overlaps both sides. I don't want to get this too tight, because then I won't have room to kind of move the screws around a little bit. So I don't know if you can tell, but I'm going to change the angle a little bit of some of these, so they would go in like that one. I could kind of feel it pop in, and this one. So at this point I have all of them done. I just have to tighten them down. So we'll go to the next step. And there you go. I'm proud papa here. But that is installed. The screws are tightened. As you can see the edges of the gasket because it's on both sides, and it's sealed between the outside skimmer and this faceplate. And then in a minute, I'm going to show you how you can put in this little pop-up piece that you want to be able to trap stuff in there. All right, here's some remaining pieces to put into it. The skimmer basket to go inside, the top of the skimmer on the outside, and then this flapper. So like I said, some people have said that this flapper has to go in before. No, it doesn't. So if you can see here, I'm going to drop that down. Get it where it falls all the way in. And then this flapper has these grooves. Well, those grooves are so you can take it in and out if you need to. But see how I insert one side, and then I just slide it down the wall till it clicks on the other side. Now it's in. If I need to take it out, I push in so it's out, and I would slide it up. So easy in and out. And then I'm going to just put this on top here so it clicks in and locks. So now I've also got the top of the skimmer in. So right now, if the plumbing was connected, which I'm going to work on later today, and then this would work, I'd fill it up with more water. We let the junk go in here and get trapped. So I put the primer on the inside end here. You can see the little bit of purple, and then I put this hot glue over it. And now I'm going to push it together. So as you can see, I already had a bit of a setup, but 1.5 inch PVC. I had this here as a attachment at one point, but I cut that off and I put these two 90s to get me closer. And then I attach it. It's got a screw into the pump, and it screws in up here as well. I put, around those seams, the tape sealing to seal it. And down here, I had to kind of create this last year. Honestly, don't know what these pieces were, but they're smaller PVC. I think an inch probably. I can't remember what size this was, but fits inside of there. And then this screws in to this T. And I had to sand it down just a slight bit to have these hoses fit on, and then I clamped them on. So that was to replace the original that came with it because it wasn't an easy connection. So now I have my setup with the skimmer. Now I just need to hook my sand filter to the pump. Be good to go. This is pretty awesome. There's just a couple little things floating. One right there that probably just fell, but I ran the filter for about an hour and a half, and this is what has been collected. This is amazing that this would have been floating all over my pool and eventually sank to the bottom. So to see there's bugs, leaves, sticks, etc. Captured here. That's pretty amazing addition of